this side, and I'll put a track on the front part of it when it comes in. Right there it is. So here are the new times of arrival in your area. Okay. Okay. We have a report of a shelf cloud, which is the leading edge of the rain cool layer coming in. David's over there near Mintani, and that would be this part of the storm. So he would not be able to see the rotation from this vantage point. The rotation's back here. This part has the shelf cloud. So really to be able to see the wall cloud, or if we've got a funnel, we'd almost have to be on the back side of this. We would have to be southwest of Odell. So right now what he's seeing is the shelf cloud on the edge of the storm. Yeah, no rotation in the shelf cloud, of course. It's right on the edge. So he's right here on the south side, out towards Mintani, looking towards the shelf cloud. That's the leading edge of the rain-cooled air of the storm. The rotating part is on the other side. It's on the back end of it. So, yeah, once we see that shelf cloud and that rain go through, then you're going to be able to get inside. And the thing is, a lot of it's just kind of wrapped in rain anyway. So it's a little hard to see it, because if we look at a radar image here, the rain's kind of wrapping around the whole thing. Again, the parent funnel may be right here, but you can see how the rain is wrapping around it. Again, David's looking from this direction. Shelf cloud, your wall cloud, and your funnel would be back here. There are the times of arrival. Shadeland, 8 minutes. Purdue University, 13 minutes before this comes in. The West Lafayette area in general, 16 minutes. City Lafayette would be 17 minutes. Battleground, 28 minutes for the storm to start to come in. And around Heath, it's 37 minutes. And finally, Springboro up towards the Carroll County area, that'd be about 40 minutes. So you can think Delphi would be about 40 minutes as well. And Buck Creek, it would be closer to about a half an hour. And it's 16 minutes for kind of downtown Lafayette, but as you know, if you live on the south side, it's going to be a hair earlier. North side, just a little bit later on than that. So we'll go back. I'll take this off the screen. We'll kind of take a broad picture for just a moment to kind of assess the radar in general. And there's the line coming in right now. There it is. It is 8 o'clock right now. The best news I have is that here in the next hour or so, we're going to be cooling. So the hope is that these gradually start to wind down and diminish from severe levels. The sun is getting lower in the sky. We're losing the buoyancy a little bit. We're still sheared pretty well. The key factor today was getting that sun out. And we had abundant sunshine today, and we got a little bit of shear. So we were able to get some severe storms going. Now, it looks like Eric, man, he is the man. He got me going back on Facebook Live. I owe Eric Bolt a lot. Thank you, Eric, for getting me back on here. Got my mic hooked up too. All right, good deal. So from the radar assessment, the line of storms now coming into Montgomery County. We may actually end up with a severe thunderstorm warning for southern Tippecanoe and Montgomery County very soon. This may have some pretty strong winds associated with it, perhaps 50 or 60. We'll wait and see what the Weather Service does with that. It looks like a Weather Service put out a severe thunderstorm warning for Tippecanoe County, for Lafayette. So right here's the tornado warning. They went ahead, they did not issue a tornado warning. They put out a severe thunderstorm warning for Lafayette and all areas just south of West Lafayette, covering the Purdue Airport and Purdue University. So, okay. Now they're still saying a tornado was possible. I do have a report here of a low rotating wall cloud. Okay, this is a little earlier, approaching southwest Tippecanoe County. And the new severe thunderstorm warning is until 8:30 for Tippecanoe County. And they're saying winds up to 70, miles an hour, hail up to penny size, and a tornado is possible. So, you know, whether it be a tornado warning or whether it be a possible tornado that could pop up at any point, I would still take this storm very seriously. And they're saying the threat is a little lower for Tippecanoe County with this storm right now. But let's still just err on the side of caution with this storm and keep looking at the velocity data and just the data in general with it. So that said, the severe thunderstorm warning in orange that goes until 8:30. Technically, the tornado warning for southwest Tippecanoe County continues until 8:15, which is about another 10 minutes. Right there's the storm. You see the bowing. It's almost like it is becoming a little more wind dominated. So you kind of see the direction they're going here. They're starting to veer, okay, this is more of a 70-mile-per-hour wind thing than necessarily a tornado, but they still kept the tornado warning in the warning wording, if you will. So still a serious storm, but right here this bowing shape is moving up this way, gusts up to 70. We'll take a look at the kind of an x-ray of the storm. And right there it is. Again, any rotation, there's some there, but it's not very easily seen. If we've got the rotation, it would be about right here. This looks more like a wind thing than anything of gusts to 70. So that's still enough wind to knock some trees and limbs down and cause power outages. We will still watch that part of the storm right there. So it's becoming a little more what we call linear. Rather than a ball with a nice rotation signature, it looks like it's becoming a little more of a bow as it's racing northeastward. Again, tornado, brief tornado is still possible. That's in the warning wording. And if the rotation can really lower and tighten up again, we'll end up with another tornado warning. So I would stay personally in a tornado safe place. Interior room, away from windows or basement area until it goes through the area as a precaution. I think it's just a good rule of thumb, a good judgment right now as it races to the northeast. And in terms of hail, there's a mention of hail up to penny size, and not much of a hail course showing up right now. That could change at any time where we start getting some peas or pennies that begin to fall. But certainly it looks like the main feature of the storm is becoming a little more wind domination. So I can show you that with the evolution of it. Again, we see that big storm right there that did produce a tornado, a confirmed tornado near Waynetown. And there it's moving to the northeast, and then the winds wrap around the tornado, the rear flank downdraft winds wrap around it. And then we see the evolution of a little more of a bowing line here rather than stronger tornadic rotation with it. So right there's the line. This part looks to be the strongest with a gust up to 70. We'll watch for a little bit of hail, but even this part of the line down in Montgomery County looks pretty strong. And we may end up with a warning very soon for Montgomery County as well, especially some of these brighter colors that are showing up in the line, especially in the southern part of the county, and then this pocket in the northern part of the county as well. So a few sporadic gusts to 60 here, but obviously it appears that the main storm, for now anyway, is right up here in Tippecanoe County. And one thing we'll have to watch, you know, every now and then with these strong winds, you get a little node. See that little bright red spot? Sometimes you get just random spin-ups, and that's why the Weather Service has the wording of a possible tornado within the severe thunderstorm warning for Tippecanoe County. And I would expect there's probably going to be a warning issued for Montgomery County here pretty soon for the potential of damaging wind with it. So there's another look at radar. We'll do a storm track on the storms in Montgomery County, and then we'll do another Tippecanoe County track on the storm that's approaching from the southwest right now. Again, it's 8:10. Severe thunderstorm warning for Tippecanoe continues. I read it off a few minutes ago, but I think it was 8:30. It is 8:30. For damaging winds, we'll see if one is issued for Montgomery County. That could end up very soon. But I would expect anywhere along this line, just be ready for some damaging gusts. All right, so we'll go ahead and track it right here. And track it through Montgomery, and then bring it up into Clinton County in southern Carroll. So times of arrival, again, for wind, damaging wind, sporadic damaging wind gusts, perhaps a brief weak tornado, a little bit of small hail. It's pretty much knocking right on the door of Crawfordsville right now. It's a couple of minutes. Gladen's Corner, which is in the far southeast part of Tippecanoe County, going to be there in about 14 minutes. That's fairly close to the Stockwell and Clarks Hill area. Darlington, 21 minutes. Sheffield Township, 28. Colfax, about a half an hour. And Mulberry, about 44 minutes. Rossville, about 55 minutes. And finally, it's a little more than an hour before it gets here, but just west of Burlington and near Delphi. Delphi's less than an hour, probably about, well, we'll track this storm into Delphi. Let's go south of Delphi. It's less than an hour before it comes into your area. We'll take the Tippecanoe County part of the storm. We'll go north a little bit here and track that part too. It's getting very close, and as soon as I do a storm track on this, I'm going to look at some of the wind gusts that have been measured southwest of Lafayette. So with it, we'll draw the track like so, as best we can, and then put it up towards Delphi in this track. All right, and there it is. You see the times of arrival. Weehaw Township, 5 minutes. It's about 9 minutes to Lafayette. We're looking at the Eastwich area, 12 minutes. Ash Grove, which is south of Brookston, northwest of Battleground, 24 minutes. The Brookston area, it's a half an hour. Delphi, 39 minutes. Yeoman, 43. And there's Monticello, about 50 minutes before it comes into your area. The Indiana Beach, Lake Schaefer, Lake Freeman area, that's going to be about 45, 50 minutes before it gets into your location as well. I'm going to leave this up on the screen, and we'll take a look at some of these wind gusts that have been occurring with the line. Again, I'm just going to kind of click and see what we got here. It'll just take it a second to load, and some of these stations are out. We likely have some power outages in the area, and if anybody has any information on power outages, that'd be greatly beneficial, whether it's it would be Titmont and Duke, because and they're working on the power outages. Wherever we see power outages, that gives us a good indication of where the strongest winds were and if we had a brief tornado touchdown. All right. Okay, Duke doesn't have any outages in the area, which is a great thing. That's good. Duke, we're good. We've got this hole in the data from Attica down to Stone Bluff and Veedersburg. I just don't see any weather stations up, and I wonder if we've got outages there with Titmont. That could very well be as well. Well, from what I'm seeing right now, I mean, the highest gust that we had at West Point from one of our spotters was 30, so that's good, at least from this vantage point right now. Nothing serious from Titmont. That's the good news we have right now. We don't have any big power outages in the viewing area as we speak, and just hopefully that it stays that way. And last night when the storms hit Clinton and Southern Carroll, at one point we had, I think, a little more than 1,000 customers without power from Kirkland, Michigan Town, and then up towards the Burlington area. So this is a good thing. We want we want to keep this up, but certainly from a radar standpoint, even let's say that we're not able to get all the winds down to the ground, that's still a very potent wind signature that we're seeing on radar. And again, the part that's been rotating has been that little comma head. And that comma head has had a history of producing tornadoes, and including at least one that was confirmed on the ground. And this is the area right there, and that little comma head. If you're going to get a tornado, it's going to be right in this zone here. But in the Boeing part, again, it looks a little more linear than it did, a little more of a wind producer than it did earlier. This part here may have some gusts, potentially in places 60 or more. The National Weather Service wording was gusts perhaps up to 70, and there may even be a little small hail that mixes in it as well. So the potential is there. The potential is there to get some of the wind energy down to the surface. And keep in mind that tag on the warning specifically said a tornado, a brief one, is still possible. And it could be a situation where it's a tornado between radar scans, because the radar scans got to go all the way around. It's sending out a pulse, and then it's got to send it back. So we have had tornadoes between radar scans before. So we're going to do the best we can to keep you alert, and we have a picture from meteorologist David Seipel right now, according to Chris, and there's the shelf cloud. Again, this is not the back side of the storm, this is the front. And we see the rain shafts in here. And you know, we got some really heavy rain here and really heavy rain here. And to me, it almost looks like, you know, he's looking from the front, but some of the dry air, you remember how we got the comma head and the air wraps into it and you get the rotation inside? That may be some of this brighter white color. This is really heavy rain. This is really heavy rain. The rain is not as light here. That could very well be the air wrapping into the part that's rotating, even though he is looking at the front of it. This is the shelf cloud. So a great picture from David. You can always count on David. And we have severe weather, David will be out there, and David is really, really dedicated. So thanks to David for sending that picture in, and I assume that he's out chasing this storm right now. So if you get any more pictures from David, please let me know, and we'll definitely put those on air. Let's go back to the radar right now. Look at that. Look at that curlicue headed right for West Lafayette and Lafayette right now. It's almost like it's beginning to turn a little more due north now rather than northeast. But the whole line's going to get this whole area. I mean, the whole area. That this is very interesting. That's the part that we've had trouble with all night, whether it be this little line or it be, you know, you look back here, it's been this little curlicue all night long, and that is where we've had the tornado warnings, right in that sea, that loop in the storm. And you will notice, yes, it's a little more of a line now, and it's more of a damaging wind threat, but that is very suspicious, and we've got to watch that far northern comma head, you know, for a random little spin up. And right there it is. This is Black Rock, the Black Rock area off to the south of Otterburn. There's Shadeland. Highway 25 is right here. You've got West Point out here, and then you've got Odell off to the southwest. If we would have a spin up, it's going to be right here in this zone, and that's crossing Highway 25 right now. And we'll cross the Wabash River very soon. And then this could be the damaging winds out on the front of it. Could be a little small hail back here on this side. But that's the spot that may have a spin up here. And then you got the wind that may reach the surface there. Now, the history of this has shown not all the wind is making it down to the ground. But at any point, especially where this is punching in right here, you know, you could have a gust 60, 70 miles an hour. Now that's coming right up, basically right up towards Purdue and the Purdue Airport area, right there. and right there would be the area to watch for a spin up of a tornado. So this is 231. Meyer is right here. Menards is right here. We've got a mobile home park here, and we've got a mobile home park here. So we've got two here. And if we've got a spin up, it's going to be right there. It's going to pass near Klondike Road. It's going to pass near Lindbergh Village. It's going to pass east of Blackthorn. It's going to pass near Meyer and that mobile home park too. If we get a spin up here, and we can get those. I'm going to look at the velocity data on the screen. Now, that's where you have the best chance of a spin up of a tornado. These are still damaging winds. Remember this punch here and then the damaging winds down here. And those are going to get the rest of town. You know, punches of gusts getting down to the ground. So we'll go ahead and there's the velocity. Again, it's not impressive rotation, but it's still there. And we can see it right there. Again, 231, Highway 52, this is Sagamore Parkway. You head over towards Cumberland Park is over here. Arbor Chase is over this way because here's Sagamore. So Arbor Chase is here, Harrison High School's up here, and it's a broad rotation, but it's there. Right there it is, and right there it's moving, right in that zone. Right in that zone. There's 231. Lindbergh Road would be out here. The Klondike Library is out this way, and it will pass pretty much right in that location, the part that's rotating. And then the potential of some damaging wind gusts will be on this side. That will get Lafayette and the south side of Lafayette. From the way I see things, it's not like everybody's going to get a gust 60 to 70, but your best chance of getting a gust 60 or 70 miles an hour would be where we're punching this air in. So right here, this is right there where you turn off to go to Shadeland off the 231 bypass. And it's between the Wabash River and where you turn off to go to Shadeland, and then southward right here near McCutcheon. This would be, to me, just looking at it from a radar perspective, that's kind of the best chance of getting a gust 60 to 70 miles an hour right there, because you can actually see the air punching in and this bowing out right here. So again, that's 231, and the Purdue Airport is over here, Purdue's over there, and there's where it tees into 52, right there, and Meyer is here. So wind, possible brief spin up right there in that general area. It's still a severe thunderstorm warning, but keep in mind that the wording on the warning was tornado still possible, and that basically implies the conditions are there, it's had a history of producing tornadoes, it could spin up a tornado between radar scans, it's possible. Otherwise, to me this looks like more of a wind threat. This is a little messy, but I would still be ready for some at least sporadic or a few gusts to 60 down here in Montgomery County, especially anywhere these reds begin to bulge out a little bit, like a little bit right here near Romney, Linden, and then a little bit trying to occur pretty close to the Crawfordsville Municipal Airport, those two areas. And again, we don't have a warning, but I just want to keep you mindful of that, and you know, a warning may be issued here in a little bit. Let's put a storm track. Let's kind of regroup and do a storm track on all this. I'm putting a track on everything in the line, Montgomery County southward, and keep in mind anything that bows out could produce a severe gust of 60 or so. All right, so we'll start down here on the Linden-Romney area and then do this and then pull it up towards Frankfort. And here are the times of arrival for the line. It's knocking on the door, Crawfordsville, Laramie Township, that is, 20 minutes. We're looking at Sheffield Township, it's 27 minutes. Mulberry, 43 minutes. Cyclone, 54 minutes. Frankfort, less than an hour, but if you're in Flora, Radnor area, Burlington, and then all the way north west of Delphi. That area, it's still more than an hour away in the eastern and northern parts of Carroll County. You still got about an hour before it to get into your area. We'll go to Tippecanoe County. I want to focus on this storm coming in right now, right as we speak. Again, you can see and look at the shelf cloud on you can really see that these are often indicative of pretty strong winds surging forward. I don't know whether we can just briefly go full screen, Chris. If we can't, that's okay. But you can see that very well developed shelf cloud approaching I-65. That's on the east side, kind of looking, that would be off to the southwest. That is from the visitor center. There is the storm though. Okay, I'll do a quick storm track and then we'll take a look at that viewer photo. Sounds good. There's the bow right there. Here's West Lafayette. Again, there's where 231-52T. Again, we'll watch for some gusts, 60 or better here. But right there, we still have to watch that curlicue for a random spin up. And that little random curlicue, if you will, is between, get our bearings straight here, West Side Meyer and 25, right between the two. If we're going to get a quick spin up, it's going to be right here, and it's going to pass. It's pretty much going to pass very close to Klondike if we have a spin up there. Right in this area, that little curl, if we get a quick spin up of a tornado, it will be right there. And if we would, it would be an EF0 or EF1, but that's still dangerous. I would still treat it so. Again, that's the zone to watch, and then it's going to move northward, north of town, and should pass. It will be east of Harrison High School, pretty much east of Harrison High School, and keep moving to the northeast. And then here we may have some winds coming out of that storm as well. I'll go in, I'll do a quick x-ray on this of the storm. And again, it's broad rotation. It's not like it's really tight, but these can be really misleading. These little tornadoes that are little ropes that are still damaging, they can be really misleading sometimes. We still have rotation there. The tornado possible wording is still in the severe thunderstorm wording tag from the Weather Service down in Indy. So again, right there it is, and it's between Meyer and 25 right now. And actually, it's kind of crossing the Wabash River right now. That would be near Fort Ouiatenon, the Fort Ouiatenon area, west-southwest of the Purdue Airport, and would be west of Discovery Park District, that zone. It's going to kind of track through the Klondike, Library, Lindbergh Village, that area, the part that's rotating. Again, no tornado warning, but the wording from the Weather Service was tornado possible. And there, the Weather Service did put out the severe thunderstorm warning for Montgomery County. Now, so that's good. We got the warning out for them for the damaging winds, so we're good there. Pretty much the entire county is under a severe thunderstorm warning for gusts. Probably 60 to 70. They've got a 60 wording on it, so, and they're still keeping tornado possible. And the current circulation is between Newmarket and Crawfordsville and has strengthened. Tornado still possible with the severe thunderstorm warning for Tippecanoe County. Okay, I'm being told that we have a picture of the shelf cloud from David on the south side. Yep, there it is. Again, that's the leading edge of the storm. That is not the part of the storm that's going to produce any sort of tornado. But this is the leading edge of the wind and the rain out in front of it right now. So Again, nicely well-defined shelf cloud from our meteorologist, Storm Team 18 meteorologist David Seipel on the south side of Lafayette. And that would be right on the edge of the line. If we could go back to radar real quick, you can see it would be about right here, right on the edge of the line coming in from the southwest. We'll go, let's see, it's 8:30 right now. We still have a line of storms coming through, this arc of storms coming through the area. We're approaching 9, kind of our thinking deadline of any sort of severe weather risk. These storms are still holding together pretty well. From what I'm seeing, we still have a good amount of shear. A lot of these storms have been fueled by all of the sunshine today that we received. But the sun is going down. We're going to start losing any of that buoyancy that we have. So if we, from here on out, we still got a little window for severe weather risk, but the thought process is the farther these storms get into northern Carroll and eastern Clinton and move on, the less likely we're going to see severe weather or any sort of warnings. Again, we'll keep an eye on it, but that's kind of the way things are looking right now as of 8:30. But we're still in that window with the heating and the shear and the cold temperatures aloft, the cooler air aloft, to get some severe weather and get severe weather risk. Now, from a radar standpoint, this is looking a little messy right now. We've got a nice line of storms here, and we've got likelihood of some damaging gusts mixed up in this. I mean, I can give you velocity data here, and you can see some pretty high winds punching in here. Some punching into Lafayette. These don't look quite as strong as they did. We may have a few sporadic severe gusts coming out of this, still moving northeastward. But this area south of Crawfordsville has really intensified, and one thing that Mike Ryan at the Weather Service in Indy was saying that there's a little rotation near Newmarket, and we can see that right here, kind of in this zone. These little mesovortices, a little spin here. You got a little bit of one up here in Crawfordsville, kind of wrapped up in some of these damaging winds. So this is kind of a 60, maybe 70 mile per hour wind gust, potential brief spin up kind of thing down in Montgomery County. Sometimes these really will put out a brief tornado between radar scans, and they're EF zeros. They do very brief damage, but it's hard to see them between scans, and that's why there's not a tornado warning here, because they're just quick little spin ups. These sustained low level rotation that produced the observed tornado near Waynetown, we're really not seeing that as much now. This is more of a line of storms with the risk of a quick spin up or two, and more in the way of just wind, maybe a little small hail thrown into the mix. But like I always say, you don't have to have a tornado to knock trees down and power lines down if you get some damaging straight line winds into an area. So we'll go a little farther north and focus on the Tippecanoe County storm. Weather Service they've put the warning out, the severe thunderstorm warning out, for the part that's blowing out the most. Now you'll notice the curlicue, I'll loop this back, and it's not nearly as pronounced as it was. See it right there? That was at 8:23, and look what's happened. It's kind of collapsed on itself. So I'm not as concerned about a spin up here as much as I was. I was getting quite concerned when it was moving north of 25 and around 25 and moving northeast. This does not look as high of a potential for a spin up of a brief tornado anymore. I mean, that part is now moving, this is out towards the Capilano area, out on the west side. And again, there's a mobile home park here, and there's one down here near Klondike. Not as concerned about a spin up right now. It's more just a few severe gusts that can't be ruled out. And you can see the orange here, the severe thunderstorm warning that is up. That includes Battleground and Lafayette and West Lafayette right now. Chris has a good picture from one of our viewers, if we want to show you that. Chris, do you know where this was taken? And there's another one. That's a shelf cloud there, it looks like, on the leading edge of the storm, from Christine Giemzik. I probably didn't get that name right, but we certainly greatly appreciate the pictures, though, because you are our eyes and ears. You've got every radar tool available, but a set of human eyes is, you can't mimic that. The pictures and the reports are extremely important. If we could go back to the other picture prior from a viewer, and this, I believe this is the shelf cloud that's approaching. This looks like it's near Shadeland. Would that be right? Is this Highway 231? No, this would be the west side. I can't hardly tell there, but it's hard to tell where we're. Okay, yeah. 231 and 52. Okay. So this would likely be the shelf cloud, the leading edge of that storm coming into the area. So again, thanks to everyone for the great pictures. Again, when you get one of these little spin-ups of a tornado, a lot of times it's, most of the time it's not on the front. The front has the wind. It's the back end you got to watch for, where you get a brief little tornado. So we'll go back to radar. We'll do some quick tracking once again. Again, this storm in Lafayette's looking a little more ragged. It doesn't look as well formed as it did. Looking at it, it looks like it's starting to weaken, but the warning is still up. The risk is there for a random severe gust, 60 or 70. It's still there, perhaps right on the leading edge here. Again, right here near the west side and close to downtown, moving up towards Ash Grove and Brookston, Battleground area, and then close to the Harrison High School right here. Again, not as concerned about a spin-up, but concerned about a random severe gust. So I'll go ahead and put a track on it up into White County as it moves to the northeast. All right. So there it is. It's pretty much in Lafayette right now. Brookston, we've got about 16 minutes. Springboro, there in Carroll County, it's about 22 minutes. Up towards the Lake Schaefer area, Lake Freeman, Indiana Beach area, about a half an hour. It's about a half an hour from Delphi, Monticello, about a half an hour. In the Norway Dam area, it's about 40 minutes to get into that area in terms of potential of a few damaging gusts. But like I said, as the line moves farther to the northeast and we get later into the evening, the severe weather risk will tend to be diminishing with time. We'll put a track on the storms, southern Tippecanoe and down into Montgomery County as well. These are looking a little ragged, but we still may have a few random gusts to 60. And look at that shelf cloud in the dark skies on the east side of Lafayette as the line comes in from the west and the southwest. So we'll put a track here, and again, if you're watching us, downstream, be aware of these other storms that are working northward. Like if you're in Frankfort or other parts of Carroll County, western Howard County, and these are the times of arrival. You got Darlington here in 4 minutes, Laramie Township 13. Mulberry about a half an hour, and Frankfort it's about 39 minutes. Kirkland 44 minutes. Rossville it's about 50 as these roar in from the southwest. We're looking at southern and eastern Carroll County, like around Flora and Deer Creek. It's anywhere from 1 hour to about an hour and a half when these storms come into your area. So that said, it appears that at least right now, and there it's roaring in right now. That's Northwestern Avenue right there. I guess that'd be by Mackey Arena. It's really hard to see. I'm facing near Neil Armstrong Hall, and you can see the really dark skies there, and you'll probably see some trees bending there with some of that wind coming in. All right, so we'll go back, and if you're kind of joining us right now, your phone's been going off this evening. We've had tornado warnings, we've had severe thunderstorm warnings. This is the line. The heart of the line is right now in Tippecanoe and Montgomery counties. It is, as of 8:40, still moving to the north-northeast. The line looks messy to me, but we've got a couple of warnings. One is down here in Montgomery County for this storm and that storm. This little Boeing signature, West Lafayette area, that has got a warning on it too, and it does include downtown Lafayette. It's not solid damaging wind anywhere in the line. There are little pulses of winds perhaps up to 60. I can tell you that the risk of a brief tornado spin-up appears to be going down. We had several signatures indicating tornado spin-ups possible in Tippecanoe County and all the way down to parts of Fountain and Montgomery counties. We're not seeing that as much right now. The only signature that looks even remotely close to a brief spin-up would be right here northwest of Crawfordsville, right in this zone, this little bit of a circulation right here, northwest of town. This would be northwest of Darlington and off to the southeast of Linden. And that's really the only area we see right now. This one's pretty weak, but that one will be one to watch as it moves up towards southeastern Tippecanoe County, like around Clarks Hill, and then eventually up towards the Fickle area on I-65 as we speak. And you can hear the rain falling here at the station, and of course the gusty winds that are occurring as well. There we go. You can hear our window, or not window, our door. I heard it click back there. We're getting some pretty strong winds punching in here. I can feel almost a draft coming in from that wind. And the station would be located up in this zone. So we're kind of getting right in the thick of the rainfall right now. The part that was rotating is south of Octagon and is right in this zone. So again, still kind of hunker down. The line looks a little messy right now, but still hunker down for the risk of a severe gust in Lafayette, West Lafayette area generally, and points northeastward over about the next 10 to 15 minutes. And there you see the line coming in right now. Looking towards Northwestern Avenue, Neil Armstrong Hall. We're looking towards Chauncey Village in that tower cam image. Okay. All right, so 8:43 right now. We're going to stick with this for a little bit longer. You know, I'm awaiting to see if a severe thunderstorm warning is issued for White County. We'll wait and see if one is issued downstream for this one. It looks kind of messy. I'm going to look at some wind gusts right now and see if we've got any gusts that are really intense that are occurring down in Montgomery County or Tippecanoe County. Some of these weather stations are just out or not registering right now. But from what I'm seeing, from the wind perspective, or from all our weather stations, all the gusts, at least right now, and again, they would be very sporadic. We probably do have a few gusts of 60, but of the winds I'm seeing right now, they're all less than 50. They're 50 or less in the line. So that is good news. I mean, that's still strong, but the severe gust threat is kind of lowering a bit, and of course the tornado risk is greatly lowering as well. We're greatly diminishing. We still got a little curly-Q comma head up here with this line, but the rotation in any of this is tending to kind of scale back a little bit. It's mainly just 50 miles an hour or less, and heavy rain is from what I'm seeing from weather stations in our area and from what I'm seeing from a radar standpoint now, as we're now at 8:45. And it looks like we have an aerial flood warning for Fountain County until 2:30 in the morning. And probably we've just had, I can take a scope of how much rain has fallen in this area. Yeah, we have some really heavy rain that's come down here in the past hour or so. Look at that. Keep in mind that 4.2 is probably hail contamination, because if you get any sort of hail, it will contaminate your rainfall data and you will get a higher than accurate rainfall reading. But it's highly likely we've had 1 to 2.5 inches of rain in this band right here across parts of Montgomery County and also parts of Fountain County as well. And this has all occurred in the last few hours. But you always got to be mindful of hail contamination. I think these 1s and 2s and 2.3 inch amounts are pretty accurate. But you know, I mean 5.2, that's likely hail contamination from the hail that we saw in that storm that produced the brief tornado near Waynetown. Then we had a storm before that that was producing pea-sized hail. There's the wind and the rain coming into downtown Lafayette. You see the wall of rain coming in from the west right now. Right through the heart of the city. And the warning continues for the northern part of the county. It is a severe thunderstorm warning. It's not a tornado warning, but we've got a severe thunderstorm warning for the northern part of the county. And that warning goes until 9:15, though it's likely that that will be canceled early because that storm is already almost to White County and moving right through Lafayette. So that's probably going to be canceled early. And then the warning for Montgomery, and that storm even is entering the northeast part of the county. That goes until 9, so that will expire at 9, the way it looks right now. So all that said, be aware, we're going to kind of wind this down because we're not seeing the strong rotation like we were. We still have a line of storms out there. We still have the potential of a random 60-mile-per-hour gust in northern Tippecanoe, possibly southern White, and also here in northeast Montgomery. We will watch Clinton County, but as the sun is setting, the potential of getting severe gusts will likely be backing off with time. So here as of 8:48, I think this is a good stopping point. We've been on for a long time and we've been tracking tornado warnings, and we're going to gather reports, gather pictures, gather data. But again, I'll stay on Facebook, but I am going to leave television coverage on CBS. Again, right here watch for a gust of 60, and right here watch for a gust of 60. Otherwise, it's just some gustiness and some pretty heavy rain that is moving northeastward. Again, this is headed for southern White, Carroll, and Clinton counties here over the next couple of hours. Thanks everybody, and we'll be live on social media, and I'll be on the blog.
This has been a Storm Team 18 Severe Weather Alert. We now return you to regular programming.